Former WWE superstar Erick Young recalls signing an NDA agreement with WWE prior to his release in April 2023. We'll let you know all of the details on that. Plus, a former WWE superstar has been pulled from an upcoming indie appearance due to what is being described as contractual commitments, leading some to speculate he could be on his way back to WWE as part of a new faction. We'll let you know all of the details on that. Plus, Tonga, he made his debut Friday night on SmackDown. What about his brother in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hikuleo? We'll let you know if he could be on his way to WWE. An update on Matt Riddle's status with New Japan Pro Wrestling after his strange exit after his New Japan Television Championship defeat Friday night in Chicago. A John Moxley segment has been announced for the upcoming edition of AEW Dynamite after his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship victory at the Windy City Riot Show for New Japan Pro Wrestling. More details on if we're going to be seeing any producer changes for the Bloodline on WWE TV. And Kenny Omega reveals his favorite match from WrestleMania 40 weekend. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Erick Young. There's been a lot of talk recently in the world of professional wrestling about NDAs, and seemingly an interesting one comes from WWE to current TNA wrestling star Erick Young about his exit from the company last year. Now, former WWE superstar Erick Young has recorded his most recent stint with the company, during which he didn't even make a television return. Now, WWE fans will remember Young from his time with the Sanity faction from 2016 to 2019, starting off in NXT and going up to SmackDown, ahead of his release from the company in 2020. Now, Young interestingly returned to WWE in November 2022, following Triple H becoming the company's chief content officer, but asked for his release in April of 2023. While it was previously reported that Young didn't want to work with Vince McMahon, who at this point had returned to the WWE board of directors, Young later simply stated that he morally couldn't work there anymore. Now, speaking on the Sunday Night's Main Event podcast, Young has now revealed that he had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, yes, an NDA, ahead of his exit from the company. Noting that he doesn't feel he has to talk badly about his latest WWE stint, Young explained, quote, "I actually never left my house after agreeing to return to WWE in 2022. I mean, the whole story's wild. Again, I had to sign an NDA, and I'm not allowed to say names." Now, when asked if Young's NDA is as ironclad as Janelle Grant's NDA, he said, quote, "I don't know. It depends if it goes federal or not. I mean, I might be able to say everything here within a few months, but the truth is I don't need to talk badly on it. It is what it is, and I talked to Hunter, and he hired me back and wanted me back there, and another person came back, and I won't work for that person. I won't be around that person, and I said that when I left there the first time when I got fired, and I meant it, and, for me, there was tons of professional reasons, but mostly it's a personal and moral decision. I don't have to be there. I have a very good life outside of there, and there's no doubt it's the pinnacle of sports entertainment we just saw this weekend. I mean, I don't know if it could be more perfect, to be honest. It's the big fish in the pond, and no one will say that. I will never change my mind on it. That was my goal. I went there, and I had a bunch of cool things. I was hired back there to do something very cool, and it just didn't work out. And in the end, I was going to be forced to compromise who I am as a person and as a man, and I'm not willing to do that, and it's not lost on me that I was able to make that choice, because a lot of people aren't going to get that choice. You're going to make decisions, and you're going to be forced to do what you got to do. If this was 10 or 15 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to make that choice. In the end, I guess you can say joke's on me, because that person is not around anymore. I can give you 100% guarantee if I wanted to work there, I could. It's just at this point in my life, I'm just not interested. I believe in what I'm doing, and that's worth more than almost anything to me right now, and it has nothing to do with disparaging anything that goes on there. Now, Young went on to note that he's still in contact with Triple H, stating, quote, "I still talk to Hunter to this day. We're still buddies. I still have utmost respect for him and 95% of the people that work there, and especially the people that make that show go, and that's the people in the ring. And if that's what you want to do and that's your decision, then that's your decision. It was never about being a leadership or a proving point or anything like that. I think some people took it that way, and some people went, man, it's really cool. In the end, it was a selfish reason, because I couldn't live with myself. It's just as simple as that. I made a promise to myself and I kept it. So that was that. Now, Young is currently signed to TNA Wrestling. He unsuccessfully challenged for Moose's TNA World Championship at March's Sacrifice pay-per-view. So what are your thoughts on Erick Young explaining his reasons for leaving WWE, which of course are related to Vince McMahon's return? Of course, Vince McMahon no longer involved in WWE. And what are your thoughts that he signed an NDA? What do you think that covers? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I suppose possible spoilers ahead when it comes to this one, but this could lead to something, it could lead to nothing, but it could lead to a possible WWE return. So if you want to skip this one, I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because interestingly, Erick Rowan has been pulled from an indie appearance, leading some to speculate he could be on his way back to WWE. Now, Eric Redbeard, formerly known as Erick Rowan, has withdrawn from an upcoming East Coast Pro Wrestling event due to new, quote, contractual obligations, end quote. Now, this sudden cancellation ahead of next week's event adds more fuel to the fire that Redbeard may be gearing up for a return to WWE. Now, the idea of Uncle Howdy's return to television has been bolstered by ongoing teases on the company's television show since WrestleMania. Someone like Erick Rowan would fit right into that scenario if it came to fruition. Many stars have needed to cancel events after signing with WWE, and, quote, contractual obligations is a very popular reason to give to avoid outright saying they've inked a new deal. Now, East Coast Pro Wrestling had a show scheduled with Eric Redbeard, but plans had to change. The former Erick Rowan of the Wyatt family had to pull out. Despite this setback, the show will still feature Brian Kendrick and Vanessa Craven. Here's actually what the statement said. It was on a Facebook post that, again, got a lot of people talking on social media. It said, quote, "We have just received word this evening from Erick Rowan that unfortunately he will not be able to make his scheduled appearance next week at Cold Town Carnage. Eric stated that new contractual obligations are preventing him from making several dates, including ours. This is the first time in ECPW history that one of our scheduled stars cancelled, and it is out of our control. With that being said, the show will still feature former WWE superstar Brian Kendrick, the debut of Vanessa Craven, plus all the superstars of East Coast Pro Wrestling. 3 title matches, a new Waterford Rumble, and much more goes down next Saturday at the new Waterford and District Community Centre. Please message ECPW Facebook page if further information is required." Now, once again, with these Uncle Howdy teases, and of course with Erick Rowan's ties to Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, many are speculating he could be part of a new Bray Wyatt inspired faction or something like that. Of course, the timing of this cancelled appearance for Eric Redbeard with the current string of strange occurrences going on during WWE programming is not lost on anyone on social media. Of course, WWE Raw saw glitches appear during the show after WrestleMania 40. Temporarily disrupting Bronson Reed's promo. The live crowd also received a sample of a strange song before the event started. On April 11, the company's official Twitter/X account posted and deleted a message with hello repeating several times. The post was up long enough to make an impression, and many believed it is tied to Uncle Howdy's return. We also can't forget about the intentional teaser of Bo Dallas's in-ring return at the end of the Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal documentary. Clearly, WWE is cooking something up, and many are speculating it could be possibly involving Erick Rowan, of course, who does have ties, as mentioned, to Bray Wyatt. We also saw on SmackDown a very brief glitch on the screen that spoke about "you forgot about us." Many people are suggesting that, since people are talking in us, a plural, it could be more than one person, so Uncle Howdy and someone else. There's been speculation about Erick Rowan returning to WWE television, Alexa Bliss returning to television. We know Braun Strowman's still under contract, recovering from neck surgery. So could we see a faction that maybe consists of Uncle Howdy, Alexa Bliss, Erick Rowan, and Braun Strowman return to television as a tribute to Bray Wyatt? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, Tama Tonga, the world is talking about him after making his SmackDown and WWE debut this past Friday, but what about his brother? Now, this year has seen some big changes for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that may not be ending. Friday night on SmackDown, Tama Tonga debuted for WWE, joining the Bloodline. After years of playing a bit of back and forth with WWE, Tama Tonga finally joined the company. Now, he had previously confirmed to the likes of Fightful that both he and his brother Hikuleo had conversations with WWE in 2023. Now, Fightful Selector reporting they have learned that although his tag team partner El Fantasmo's New Japan contract was only through January, as of Wrestle Kingdom when Fightful spoke with them, Hikuleo's was actually a little bit longer. As of recent months, Fightful had been told that Hikuleo's deal ran into June. Now, Fightful said they haven't heard an update on if he's got a new deal or what kind of deal Fantasmo is on right now, or either. but the two are still actively teaming. Hikuleo and Tonga both had talks with WWE last year, but Vince McMahon forcing his way back into the company, many potential deals were put on hold, and there was this unofficial hiring freeze. Fightful say they've inquired directly regarding Hikuleo's contractual status, but didn't get an answer. So would you like to see Hikuleo come into WWE and get involved in this Bloodline storyline, a possible Bloodline civil war? Let me know your thoughts on that too in the comment section below. Now, we spoke about this earlier on today in the video that dropped this morning about Matt Riddle and a bit of a strange exit he had from New Japan this past Friday night at the Windy City Riot show. Now, Matt Riddle's reign as New Japan Television Champion ended on April 12 when he was defeated by Zack Sabre Jr. at the Windy City Riot pay-per-view in Chicago. But what Riddle did after the match had people talking. Rather than selling the defeat, Riddle quickly exited the ring and returned up the entrance ramp. He was high-fiving fans along the way and made it kind of seem like nothing had really happened. Now, this sparked rumors that Riddle's tenure with New Japan Pro Wrestling had ended, despite only really getting started with the company in January when he challenged Hiroshi Tanahashi to a match for the New Beginning in Sapporo event. Well, according to Dave Meltzer, while speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, these rumors are merely just that. Rumors. Meltzer has claimed that Riddle is not finished with New Japan and has upcoming dates with the company in the near future, with his dropping the belt simply being a decision made by New Japan to crown a new champion. Now, Riddle has previously stated that he has a working visa that will allow him to travel to Japan throughout 2024, but his next appearance for the company has yet to be confirmed. He was reportedly slated to be a part of the lineup for the 2024 New Japan Cup that took place earlier this year, but he was omitted from the tournament for undisclosed reasons. Riddle will continue to work for Major League Wrestling outside of his bookings for New Japan, with MLW being the place he made his two defenses of the New Japan World Television Championship previously as well. Now, Jon Moxley, of course, he made headlines in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling, becoming the brand new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and the new champ is going to be appearing this week on Dynamite. With AEW Dynasty taking place next weekend, the company has only one more episode of AEW Dynamite before the big pay-per-view. That episode has just gotten a bit bigger as Jon Moxley is set to appear for the first time since winning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Moxley defeated Tetsuya Naito at New Japan's Windy City Riot to become the new champion. The match had been booked for the event for several months, but was only made into a championship bout after Naito successfully defended his title at the Sakura Genesis event against Yota Tsuji. Highlights of the match were shown on the April 13 edition of AEW Collision. The appearance will also mark the first time since the Revolution pay-per-view on March 3rd that Moxley has appeared in AEW, with the former AEW World Champion taking some time away from the company to rest up for his appearances in New Japan as well as CMLL. So Jon Moxley is set for this week's edition of Dynamite on TBS. Now, there's been a bit of confusion and some stories going around about the Bloodline and who's been producing their segments. Of course, really in the past exclusively throughout the entirety of the Bloodline saga, it's really only been Michael P.S. Hayes along with some other people assisting, but he's really been the point man for producing all of these segments and matches. Now, there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding the status of the Bloodline following WrestleMania 40 with Jimmy Uso losing to Jey Uso, Roman Reigns dropping the Undisputed Universal title to Cody Rhodes, and this was before Friday's edition of SmackDown, which featured a Bloodline segment, which fueled speculation about the group's next big storyline. Now, during the segment, of course, Solo Sikoa attacked his brother Jimmy Uso with the debuting Tama Tonga. Solo and Tonga left the arena together, seemingly indicating that Tama Tonga has replaced Jimmy Uso in the Bloodline. Now, interestingly, as we covered before, Jason Jordan was listed as the sole producer for this segment, which is very unusual because Michael Hayes has typically produced Roman Reigns and Bloodline segments for years, really, as I said, since the inception of this entire storyline back in 2020. Now, recently, Bobby Roode's been kind of helping out Michael P.S. Hayes for everything Bloodline, but neither were involved in Friday's segment. Now, this fueled speculation that Jordan could become the Bloodline's new producer for segments moving forward, but in a new update from Fightful Select, they are reporting that Michael Hayes is expected to resume producing Bloodline-related segments, meaning that this change was only temporary. As I mentioned, Michael Hayes and Bobby Roode were listed as the producers for both the WrestleMania 40 Night 1 and Night 2 main events, so certainly senior producers, particularly for anything involving the Bloodline in WWE at the moment. And finally, speaking of WrestleMania, Kenny Omega has given his opinion on his favourite match of WrestleMania 40 weekend, and many would expect that Cody Rhodes, one of his two main events, would be Omega's highlight of the two-night event, but Omega has revealed he actually preferred another bout. During a recent Twitch stream, Kenny Omega revealed that his favorite match from WrestleMania 40 was Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Sharing praise for Zayn, Omega said, quote, "Sami Zayn, I would say he's the most versatile, flexible wrestler, and he's proved over the course of not only his indie career, but he's proven it as Sami Zayn, of course, as well, that when you put those two together, when you have someone who's shown under a mask, be one of the greatest sympathetic baby faces, but then also take the mask off, have him use his face, use his voice, use his body language, and then also become the greatest sympathetic babyface. That, to me, is describing someone who is one of the greatest going. And if you ask me, when you take out the pomp and circumstance and all sorts of the cool throwback stuff that was in the main event of Night 2, my favorite in-ring match of WrestleMania was Sami versus Gunther. That's just my opinion, though, and that's me being a fan of in-ring stuff. The result was fantastic. It was emotional for me, obviously being a very good friend of Sami in real life, and of course the overall result of the grand finale, and it was very happy ending as well, and it seemed everyone was extremely pleased with that too, which I'm happy for. If the shoe's on the other foot and those guys were bad guys, heels if you will, I would have loved for them to get the complete opposite reaction. I would have loved for people to be up in arms and really mad, because that's what they're doing their job as, a heel. So I would say for me, the friends I was watching for more or less, but the ones that had very big nights, they killed it, so I'm very happy about that. Of course, this match ended with Sami Zayn hitting a top rope brainbuster and a haluva kick combination on Gunther to win the Intercontinental Championship. Now, with Zayn's victory, he ended the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship title reign of all time in WWE history after 666 days. But there you go, guys. It's the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.